a good win, obviously, against a very, very good opponent, and I mean, a really tremendous team in Utah. The way they play defense and just the way they play football, you really respect it. And coming in here, you know, for us, after a really difficult loss last week, you know, anytime you lose in the last minute, the last play, as it was last week, you know, you worry, especially at this age, a little hangover effect. But I felt right from the get-go last week that our guys came back with a real focus and a determination to get over that one and take advantage of the second chance that they were afforded when Utah lost last week. And we had a really good week of practice, and we came out and I thought we executed very, very well today. Obviously, you know, we would like to be more productive on offense. We lost 2 offensive linemen, and I think that hurt us when Alex Redmond went out, and then when Connor went out, you know, we had to shuffle some things around. But I think most of the credit for our offensive struggles should go to Utah's front. I think that's about as good a front as you'll find in college football. And I know there's some, you know, Alabama's a great front, and there's some other great ones, but those guys are tremendous and very well coached, and they play hard. I think what we did today is we won some battles outside. We felt like we could come in here and they were going to play a lot of man-free. They were going to try to, you know, take away the run, and we felt we could get some things done on the outside, and we did. I thought Jordan Payton was spectacular again. I believe he broke the UCLA. He broke the UCLA single or all-time receiving record today. So that's quite an accomplishment for him, especially some of the guys that have come through here. But really, what it does is it just keeps us in the hunt, and that's really what you can ask for right now. All you can ask for right now is to stay in the hunt. And we got to do a great job of showing some maturity by putting this one behind us and being focused on the next one on Saturday, because they just keep getting bigger, and we're excited about it.
What can you say about your team defensively, just keeping Utah out of the end zone today?
You know, they just played with a lot of discipline is what they did. You know, as everyone saw in that first half, and then the first drive of the second half, they did a nice job of running the football, and we struggled to contain Travis, who I have a lot of respect. I think all players have a lot of respect for. We made some adjustments on the sideline there, and it helped us. It helped us tremendously. But I just think that they, you know, I think it all kind of goes back to last week and the way they responded, especially defensively, you know, to that heartbreaking loss. And they didn't let it get them down, and they just kept battling and played well.
Coach, can you talk about the difference in the locker room just now to the locker room last week after that?
Well, last week was like a morgue, you know. I mean, there was really hardly anything you could say when you lose a game like that. And this week they're excited, but I also think that they understand the challenges and the opportunities that are ahead of us. And so they're going to keep it in perspective, and they're going to stay focused.
You were riding an 8-point lead for much of the second half. What were you telling them on the sideline?
Just do your job. I mean, it really comes down to that. You know, motivational tactics can sometimes be overblown. You just tell them, just go out there and do your job, execute, and that's what we did.
Jim, what did you see in the recent weeks that gave you confidence that your defense could come up with this kind of?
Well, going into every game, I mean, I try to be a glasses half full guy. The closer you get to the game, you know, things just start, as a coach, things start popping in your mind and worries. But I just felt like what is happening a little bit to us, irregardless of what happened last week on that last drive, is that we're playing, we have a better understanding of what we are supposed to be doing individually, and that's helping us collectively. As everybody knows, early in the season we lost some players and we had to shuffle the deck a little bit. And then in the middle of the season we had some linebacker issues. We had to shuffle the deck a little bit, but now we've got a little bit more consistency with who's playing what positions, and they're understanding their role and their fit in the defense, and I think that always helps you.
After that first drive, their first drive of the second half, what were some of those adjustments after that drive?
Well, I mean, without getting specific, you know, I don't want to tell others, I don't mind telling you, Tracy, about our strategy, but others, since you've got a camera there, we made some adjustments along the defensive line, some slight adjustments that didn't allow them to do some of the things that they were doing that were giving us problems. You know, some of their pin and pull schemes. We just made some subtle adjustments, and our guys handled it very, very well.
You were talking about how you hope these guys put this one away and get focused on that. So that comes actually pretty easy with this week that's coming up, doesn't it?
Well, it should. It should. I still think they need to be reminded all the time. I mean, they are young men. They're, you know, some of those kids in there are 18 years old, and you just have to remind them constantly about, you know, staying focused and not getting too high and not getting too low, And, but certainly with this being the last game of the season, regular season game of the season, and so much at stake, then they'll be focused up. I think part of the challenge too, Chris, is also keeping them level. Not letting them get too high, and not letting them get too anxious too early. So that's just part of it.
Josh Rosen faced a lot of pressure. It seemed like even when he wasn't sacked, he was getting hit. What did you kind of think of his poise throughout the game tonight?
I think it just is really just what we've seen all year with him. Him becoming very poised. I think he's always been very poised, but it just continues to confirm what I think we've seen all along, is that he's very hard to fluster. And if he is flustered, he doesn't show it. So he doesn't show it to his teammates, and he doesn't show it to the opponent. And I think that's what great quarterbacks do. When you think about guys like, and I'm not comparing at all Josh Rosen to these guys. I don't want to do that, but I'm comparing character traits of great quarterbacks that I've been fortunate to be around. Guys like Steve Young or Joe Montana, or you look at guys like Peyton Manning, you look at Tom Brady or Drew Brees, or you look at Luck now. And great performers have a consistency of their demeanor. When it's high or it's low. And like I said, I'm not comparing him to those guys in any way physically, but in terms of demeanor, he's got those same traits.
It really seems like. Was he talking more to guys tonight? It seemed like he was barking out to the linemen a lot.
No, you guys have watched our offense a lot, so a lot of it, there's a lot of communication that goes on pre-snap. We're changing plays. Sometimes we're up there and we'll try to get them to move, and then we'll send a play in. Or Josh will see something, he'll change a play. We give him quite a bit of latitude for a true freshman. He was in here at halftime in the locker room drawing up a play that he wanted to run. Now, I don't know if we ran it or not, but that's how his mind works.
Jimmy also seems to be a really tough kid. I mean, he took some really tough shots. One of them doubled over, and he was getting up slow, and he just doesn't. We watch him. He didn't seem to complain or any of that stuff.
I think you're right. I think he is a tough kid. I think we've seen the mental toughness, but I think he's also physically tough. He's a big body. He's not a slight guy. He's put together well, and I think what he's learned is how to mask his pain. We talked about that early in the year. He got hit against somebody early in the year, and he was kind of showing pain. And I just sat down by him and said, "Listen, in your position, you can't ever let him know that you're hurting. You can't give him that satisfaction." And I think there's something about him that's just different than a lot of other players out there. He's a special one.
Jim, you're 3-0 against SC. What do you attribute the success to?
I think we've played well. We've gotten the breaks. I think every game's different. I don't know that there's any consistent theme throughout those games, other than that, we've been fortunate to get the win. But this one will be different. They're a different team. We're a different team. It's going to be a great atmosphere. We've got to have a great week of preparation, and then, more importantly, we've got to go out and execute on Saturday, whatever time the game is.
Coach, you're just outside congratulating your guys, talking to him, saying next week, we're looking ahead. What do you say just about what they've done and what this win in this moment means to your program right now?
I mean, every win is tough. I don't know that everyone always understands how difficult it is just to win one game in college football. You only get 12. You're only guaranteed 12 shots, and they're hard. They're hard to win. It's hard to go on the road in an atmosphere like this against a good team like we just played and win. And so, what I'm trying to do is just balance our kids out, stabilize them, and make sure that we don't get too high or too low, and just keep playing with the consistency that I think we're starting to show. So let's try to, it's my habit to always stand there and talk to them when they come in. It's just there's not much room, as you guys know, there's not much room in this locker room, so I had to stand outside.
What do you say about the focus of your team after back-to-back losses midway through the season? But you guys could have easily packed it in, but instead you guys keep going and you get the focus, and now you're in the position where you could potentially play for a competitive title. What does it say about just the focus of your team this year?
I think that's what we expect. I mean, that's the kind of kids that we have. They're from very diverse backgrounds. A lot of these young men could have given up in life a long time ago, but that's not their character. And I don't mean to sound overly dramatic, but it's true. And this is a competitive sport. You're going to suffer some tough losses, and there's going to be some adversity, and you have to be prepared for it. And I think you have to build into your culture a plan for dealing with adversity, and we've done that. And we're going to face a lot more in the years to come. It's just not going to be easy. The Pac-12 is an incredibly competitive conference. You know, I mean, there's very, very good teams all around. I don't know the results of the games today, but you can throw out a score, and it really wouldn't surprise me, you know, who beat who. It's just, that's the Pac-12, and so you've got to be prepared for that. I think the unfortunate thing about as competitive as the Pac-12 is we've probably eliminated the Pac-12 from the national championship contention, which is unfortunate because I think there's a lot of teams in this conference that are worthy, but we've kind of eaten each other, you know. So you've just got to have a strength of character. You've got to have the ability to overcome some adversity and soldier on. And I think our guys are learning how to do that.
Coach, the turnover battle, Utah came in with league leader in turnover margin, league leader in interceptions. You guys didn't give up a turnover, got 2 from Utah. What does it say about just kind of the composure that the offense had against that kind of defense?
Well, I think it says a lot about everyone on our offense being able to take care of the football. You know, from the quarterback center exchange to the quarterback making good decisions, the guys carrying it, to protecting our ball carriers, all those things. You know, I think they were +9 coming into this game. We were +1. They had 16 interceptions, and it was led the conference. And you go on the road, and it's paramount on the road that you protect the football. And we were able to do that tonight and get a couple turnovers. You know, we had the interception that got called back, but the 2 fumbles were key.
All right, thanks guys.
Thanks everyone.